Hey friends! Well, for the final installment of this series, I'm going to be doing the smoker bowl. We're going to smoke some meat. So, let's get started on the setup and get to smoking some good old meat. Alright, the first thing that you want to do is you want to grab up four branches and then you want to process them, and you're going to be using them for legs. So we're going to cut this off about right, trim that off, cut that off about right there, cut that off about right there. Alright, I'm going to make 4 legs just like that. You want to trim them to a sharp point. Alright, you're going to sharpen the ends of it to a sharp point, and then I'm going to show you what you do on the end. Okay? Alright, I got one end of the stick to a sharp point right there. So now what you got to do is you take the other end there. I get out my small knife here for a little bit of carving. Alright, then what you do on the other end is you just kind of cut that edge to where you got 2 flats on each side. Now this has got to do with the design of my grill, the way I made it. I'm sure not everybody else is going to have one made like mine, but the design works pretty doggone good. Alright, so what you do is you got that right there. You got like 2 flats on each side. And then what you want to do, a little bit more on this side. Then you want to lay it down here on this log right here. And then you want to kind of push in a little bit right here. Rock the knife back and forth a little bit. Flip it over. Rock that knife back and forth a little bit while pushing it in. And there you go. That's what you want. You want a little notch on the end. Okay? You got it carved like that with a notch in the middle, because something's going to be sitting right in there. Alright? Alright, I'm going to get up 3 more of these so that we'll have 4, and then I'll show you how to set it up. That's a good way right there of doing it without damaging the bark on the tree. And using your machete and not dulling your knife. Alright, I'm down inside like what looks like an old ravine or something. It's going to be pretty cool because I'll be blocked from the wind. Alright, now I got all 4 of these things done. I got all 4 of these done, and I'm going to clear out a spot right here, and this is where the smoker's going to be. Let me get some of this stuff off right here. Now, one of the things, you know, in case some people might want to know what's the perfect size bowl, because it looks like a gigantic bowl. It's really not that big, but the way I judge it, and you know, you can get a bowl at a yard sale or flea market or whatever, but if it fits in a butt pack, then it ain't too big. Because a lot of times I'll carry a butt pack, you know, and put everything, put what I need in there. Okay, so for this one, what we got, I'm gonna have the bowl, the grill. This time we're gonna use the pan, and we're gonna use the welding rods. Okay. Now, I'll clear out all these leaves right here and we'll get a spot and I'll show you what the initial setup for it is. Alright, what I'm doing now, I got this little spot cleared out and I'm down to damp ground, which is a good thing. Got all the leaves spread out nice. Now when I made this grill, I made these little loops on here, okay? And what they do is they hook over the bowl, okay? They hook over the bowl there. Well, I made them round, and I made them round for a reason. Made them round so that, remember the little loop part? It goes up inside it right there. Okay? So what I do with it, take two of these right here and spread them out real far. Okay? Spread them out real far, mash them down. Okay? Alright, there's two. And then I mash the other one down, just like that. Okay? Mash the other one down at an angle, just like that. Okay? And it's gotta, you gotta kind of manipulate it a little bit to get it to sit on there. As you can see the basic idea right there, how that's set up so far. Okay? And I'll show you the next part. Okay, does it make sense now? Alright. I got the stick spread out real far because the fire is going to be under here. Okay? The meat will be up here on top of the grill, and what the bowl is going to do is the bowl will sit right there and it'll trap the heat. I mean, it'll trap the smoke as it's coming up. Now, down here on the bottom, you could just build a fire. And if you build a fire, the things that I've noticed is if you just build a fire right here, you're going to wind up just pretty much cooking the food with heat. Now, if you want more of a good smoky flavor, what you got to do is you got to have smoke. So, what I have discovered, I take right here, I center it up right on the bottom, my pan, and then I'll stab in a couple of welding rods right here at an angle. Okay? And I pull the pan out, and then I run the rods in a little, just like that. And so once the rods are in, you put the pan right here. You got to have a pan that's got a lip on it. Okay. Now, for the sake of videotaping, now I'll tell you what I normally do. Okay. Normally, whenever I'm out like on a camping trip, the day before we plan on smoking some food, what I'll do is I'll find some hickory or some cherry or some apple, and I'll chop it all up, and then I'll put it in a mesh bag and soak it in a creek the whole day before. Because, like I say, if you just have a fire right here, you're going to cook it with heat. If you just put like hickory chips in here, it's going to burn them up, they're going to catch them on fire, and you're going to cook with flames. So what you do is whenever I soak that wood in a creek, it gets it wet. Not only does it slowly smoke, but it steams it too. Now I went ahead and got some chips and soaked them overnight, just like I say, just for the sake of videotaping. Okay? So what I do, I'm going to pour off a little bit of water, and then I'm going to dump it in this bowl right here, and then we're going to build a fire underneath. Okay? Alright, this is pretty much my view of it now, how it looks. I got the grill up there. I got a little bit of wood right here underneath it. Kind of lean down there and see it a little bit. Alright, now what I'm going to do, dump a little bit of this wood in there. A little bit of water in there too to keep the wood from burning up. Also, the wood gives it kind of a nice steamy flavor. Alright, I'm going to put as much in there as I can. There you go. Fill that pan up nice. Okay, and what it's going to do is them flames are going to come up, and it's gonna, then that stuff, if it was dry, it would just absolutely burst into flames. All right, let me show you another little trick right over here. A lot of people say that they take oh man, I lost the bag. Oh, there it is, hold on. All right. Oh. All right, now, a lot of people say that they will take steel wool. They take steel wool and a 9-volt battery to start a fire. Well, I'll tell you something else. You can use steel wool, keep some in a little bag and keep it dry. Extra fine steel wool and a ferro rod, and you can start your fire. Isn't it neat? Alright, we'll tear off a little piece of that and get a fire started. What I'm going to do right here now is I'm going to tear me off a little bit of piece of this. And make sure and keep your steel wool dry, because part of the properties of getting this stuff to light off is the fact that when this stuff's manufactured, it's got like a really light coating of oil on it. And that's why they say if the steel wool gets wet, it won't work. Because, you know, steel's not flammable. But for some reason, this stuff goes up. And I think it's got to do with the oil on it. Oh, look at that. I always say carry 2 ferro rods. Well, don't get them all tangled up. That's alright. Let's just use 2. There you go. See right there? Alright, put that in there. And then I'm just going to start putting all these sticks on it right here, and I'm going to get this fire going. Alright, now, we got the old fire going right here. Can you see me? Alright, I'll be working right here. Kind of hard to film by myself. Alright, now another one of my old tricks is inside my canteen, I keep a couple of pieces of milk jug. Okay? That's my cutting board, and it seems to fit perfect right behind my canteen. Alright, so set this over here to the side. See what kind of meat we got. Alright, got the old wool. Say wool is good because it's not real bulky, and you can do anything with wool. And I just wrap up the meat in a little freezer pack thing there in this. Because this you can use, if you had to, you could use it for a head wrap or whatever. Okay? So, alright. Let's see what we got in here. Alright, we got some pork. Now what you want to do is when you're cutting it, when you're smoking this stuff, you want to cut it thin. So I got my old handy roach belly right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice some of this stuff up. I think you can see that smoke coming off of there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slice this up real thin where it's going to be almost like a jerky. Alright. You just lay these pieces up on top. Okay. I'm going to slice up some of these, and then I'm going to lay them on top, and then I'm going to put the bowl on. Okay. Alright, cutting this stuff off real thin. You're almost like drying it. Let me move you over here now. You can kind of see that stuff starting to, you hear it? You can see the smoke coming off of it. See, what I'm going to do right here now is I'm going to lay all this meat up here. Okay? And then what I'll do is as the smoke's rising up, so you put the bowl over it, and as the smoke comes up, it'll catch it up inside the bowl right there. Alright? You just got to keep that fire going. Alright, you can see that's really starting to go now. A couple of things that I did wrong right here. One of the things is I put too much water in the bowl right there because it's having to steam up now before the wood starts smoking. And another thing is it's not really a good time of year because you need a bunch of pine boughs, green pine boughs that you can lean up against the side to help trap the smoke up under. As you can see, it's starting to smoke now. All you got to do is pretty much just stay here and feed the fire and keep it directed under the chip pan. So that's all you got to do now is just sit around and enjoy nature for a little while you're doing this. Let's see here. Yep, there you go. Alright, we'll be back, probably take about an hour or two. Alright, can you see now how you got the smoke that's starting to come off the chips right there now? That's what you want right there. I got all that water boiled away. And see, you're losing some smoke, but there's a good bit of smoke that's getting trapped up inside that hood right there. Another thing you can do is you can put your hand on that hood right there and see how hot it's getting. Isn't that neat? But there's the smoke that's going to give you flavor. You're going to get a lot of heat off of this down here for cooking, but that right there is where the flavor's coming from. I tell you, we're putting off some smoke now. And you know, another good thing about these welding rods right here is they kind of contain the fire. Because they're stainless steel and it ain't like they're going nowhere. So you can just sit here and feed a few pieces in. Alright. Get a little closer look. Ah, yeah. Is that smoke pouring off? Don't that look good? Here, let's take a sneak peek. If I can. I can smell it now. Yum, yum. My smoker. Right, see if I can get you a bird's eye view of what's going on underneath there. Let's see. There you go. I think that'll fit. See all that smoke getting up there on that? Yum, yum. Now that is going to be some good eating. Alright, now, usually whenever the chips right there in the chip pan are burnt up, usually that means that your food's about ready. Okay? So, let's raise you up right here a minute. And then we will see what the food looks like. Alright, gotta put on the old gloves right here. Oh yes, now that is some food right there. Let me back you up right there a minute. Alright, let's see if I got you measured up right there. Alright, let's see now. This is going to be some kind of good eating. Alright, let me get out a fork right here. Alright, now I hope I've covered everything pretty good with the bowl right here. Now this right here, you're going to get a good bit of heat out of it, but you're also going to get the flavor of the smoke. And this grill's made out of stainless steel, so it's going to last forever. And see, another good thing about this right here is the simple fact that this could be a survival method for preserving food, because you saw how all it is it's a big bowl. It's a pan and it's a grill, and it fits in a butt pack. It's all small. You know, the legs you carve out of something in nature, and then you bring the wood with you. And so you could very easily bring this with you on the trail. So, oh man, that is better than any beef jerky you can buy. Pork jerky. And like I say, nothing when you're on the trail. All you need is a lightweight mesh bag. You chop the pieces of wood up small, and then you float them in the creek overnight. Next day, you're good to go. That is so delicious. And since I didn't have the sides covered, it's not got an overbearing smoky flavor. So, that is so good. Bowl's hot too. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed these series. Hope you learned a few tricks along the way. I had a ball doing it. So, until next time, see ya.